Greetings. How you guys doing on this good Saturday? It's your man Ken Billions on the check-in. How's everybody? Hopefully you and your family is straight today. It's a beautiful Saturday morning, Saturday afternoon for some. It's morning where I'm at. I like to thank you guys for being here. And as always, when you come in the chat, if you can hear me, press 1. If you can see me, press 2. If you can hear me, press 1. If you can see me, press 2. Get everything together. How you guys doing today? All right. So make sure you guys like and share the video. All right. Make sure you like and share the video. The reason why it's important to like the video because when you like the video, it cuts through the algorithm. All right. So when you like the video, it gets out to more people. All right. Because there's an algorithm set in place. So a lot of people don't even know when a lot of their favorite creators are online because there's an algorithm in place. So when you like the video, what it does is it tells the AI, because Facebook and YouTube are AIs, it's artificial intelligence. What it tells the AI is that the video is important. So it shows up on more people's pages. Okay, so make sure you like and share the video. It's free to like and share. All right, so don't be scared. Don't no one's gonna just make sure you like and share the video. Do that for me. But again, thank you guys for being here. It is a beautiful Saturday where I'm at. I got an amazing topic today, and today I'm talking about vertical growth. And the reason why I'm doing this topic is because I think that a lot of men and women in your respective careers, in your marriages, in your parenting, I think a lot of people can actually relate to the topic of vertical growth. And we're going to get into the topic. We're going to be surgical about the topic. And so when you leave here, you leave better than you came. All right. When you leave here, you leave better than you came. All right. That's my job to make sure after you listen to me talk, you're a more official father, you're a more official partner, you're a more official person in business, you're a more official person in the workforce, you're just a more official person overall. All right. So make sure you share the video on your page, show some support, show some love. Shout out to the people that are supporters on my Facebook page. Those are the people that, man, they got that supporter badge. That means they seed into the ministry to keep the ministry alive and to keep the ministry fresh and to let everybody know that they're not afraid to support this Coin Gang Ministries. All right. My name is Ken Billions. If you didn't know, greetings. How are you doing? So let's get into it. The topic of today is vertical growth. Trust the process. Trust the process. So we're going to be talking about what is vertical growth. Why is growing vertically important? The price we pay for growing vertically, because there's a price and it's a big price and everybody can afford to pay the price, and the price is not money. So we're going to be talking about that. We're going to be talking about finding strength in being alone. We're also going to be talking about life after moving vertically. After you make your vertical transition, we're going to be talking about life after that. All right. So, real quick, I got some experience with vertical growth. All right. So, me, myself, I was stuck in a horizontal mindset. The root of it was fear driven. I was afraid to leave the herd, because coming from the backgrounds like ours, we are taught a herd mentality. We are taught a collective mentality. We are taught a mentality of a group identity. So you grow up with that mindset and you make decisions based on the importance of the group while suppressing your individual needs, suppressing your individual identity, suppressing your individual wants and pursuits because it's all about the group. So I was focused on a horizontal lifestyle. So let me tell you what a horizontal lifestyle is. A straight line. And the straight line that I was living was based on, you know what, man, I don't want to leave the homies, or I don't want to level up over my family, or I don't want to level up over my friends, because if the group can't go, then I'm nothing. And that is the downfall of the group mentality, because you can be a genius in your craft. You can be amazing in your field. You can have ideals that can change the world. You can be literally the person that comes with the next great ideal to move the humanity forward in terms of a contribution. But you can never get there because you're stuck on a group mindset. You're stuck on a group identity. And I'm talking about, uh, for example, electricity benefits the group, transportation benefits the group. But for you to come with creations like that, you have to separate yourself first and go into a creative space and tap into a flow state. Okay. So there are contributions in that humans make that is good for the group, right? But that comes from individual innovation. And the problem with the herd mentality is you never step into individual innovation. So my horizontal movements was based on the homies. My horizontal movements was based on this ideal of race first. Okay. Think about that for a second. Race first. Put your race or this ideal or this concept of race before yourself, race before your own health, race before your needs and wants. And not even the people are in your circle. Put these mysterious people that you've never met, put them before yourself. Okay. That's horizontal movements. It's a straight line. Okay. But vertical growth is going upwards. So when we look at a rocket ship, we look at Elon Musk and working on SpaceX, that's vertical growth. It goes straight up in the air like a rocket ship. Okay. So that's horizontal. Horizontal is going this way. Vertical is going this way. All right. So the majority of my life, trust me, I would be way further if I tapped into a vertical mindset when I was 21. If I was 25 and I tapped into a vertical mindset, I'll be way further. Okay. I didn't get to tap into a vertical mindset until my 30s when I was fully confident of stepping out on faith and not being afraid and not being apologetic about the things that I want. And the number one thing is not being apologetic that I'm different. I am different. I am not like a lot of people. And not being ashamed of the difference, embracing the difference, coming to terms with the difference, realizing that, you know what, my handprint, there's no design on the planet like that. This is a design that's unique to me. But the herd mentality doesn't allow you to tap into your difference because you see yourself as a collective. Okay. So that's horizontal movement. But I want to talk about vertical growth. So, vertical growth is about visualization. So, if you picture yourself like a rocket ship, blasting off like a rocket. So, for 1 second, imagine in your mind that you are part of the first group of people going to Mars. Imagine that. Now, don't focus on Mars, focus on the transportation. Okay. Because before we become something, we have to see it first. And we know that the mind has sight to it. Okay. The eyes see. Let's flip that around. The mind sees, the eyes have sight, right? The eyes look outward, but the mind is able to see things that are not there yet. Okay. So imagine you are part of the first human beings that are on this mission to Mars. For you to get there, you're going to be needing to travel. You're going to need the type of transportation that goes directly up with enough power to pierce through gravity. Imagine that for a second, though. See yourself doing that. And that's important because many of us have seen ourselves in poverty. We've seen ourselves with lack. We've seen ourselves with the antithesis of possibility, the opposite of possibility. It's ingrained in our mind that we should be stressed and we should be depressed. It's ingrained in our mind that lack is part of your race. It's ingrained in your mind that oppression and marginalization is ingrained in your human experience. Now, does the human experience have trials and tribulations? Of course. That's just a part of being human, but I'm talking about something else. Okay? And we've took on a religion that our suffering is somehow divine and that the higher power wants us to go through these things to be tested. And if we make it through these earthly tests, then somehow at the end of the test, there's a reward. Okay. So, but a lot of that is based on visualization. A lot of us see ourselves as less than. So I want to talk about the vertical growth where you imagine yourself in this rocket ship. You're going straight up, right? Or better yet, imagine aiming a gun straight in the air, right? And you pull in the trigger and the bullet goes off, right? Imagine that. You aim in a gun and the bullet goes off straight in the air. That's vertical growth. That's what I'm talking about in your life, that you go upward like that, right? See, vertical growth is about making decisions that's worth 3 to 5 to 10 years. One decision. See, horizontal lifestyle is saying, you know what, in 20 years, maybe, just maybe, I have a promotion. See, it's about the labor. You think labor is going to get there, right? If I just show up at work and do a good job, maybe, just maybe. But I'm talking about vertical growth where you make one decision and your one decision is worth 10 years, 5 years, 3 years. Okay. So your one decision elevates you and catapults you to a position that it's going to take a person 10 years, 15 years to accomplish that. Now, there is work required for that though. Okay. But once you commit to the work, it's sky's the limit. Okay. So it's basically compound interest on your decision making. One decision, this one decision is going to put you in a space that no one else can touch you. One decision. Can you guys see that? See, because this doesn't work if you guys can't see it. Right? So I don't necessarily want to just project my outlook on you. You have to see it. You have to want that for yourself. This is the power of belief. Do you believe that you can make one decision that's worth 3 years? Okay, let's scale. Do you believe that you can make one decision that's worth 5 years? Let's scale. Do you believe that you can make one decision that's worth 10 years? Okay, whether that's an investment or whether that's hooking up with the right mate or whether that's a change in location or whether that's delayed having a child right now. Whatever it is, the decision, the equity in the decision carries yearly weight to it. The majority of us make day-to-day decisions, right? All right, it's Monday, so I'm gonna plan for a Tuesday. All right, it's Tuesday, so I'm gonna plan for Wednesday. It's Wednesday, so I'm gonna prepare for Thursday, and so on and so forth. Or you might prepare for the winter, right? And that's cool. Those are micro decisions, right? Those, and we have to do that. But I'm talking about the big shit. And what you'll notice is as you start planning like that, the gap between you and everybody you know widens. And there happens with the you start being apologetic about your life. Right? You start being apologetic about your life. But before we move on to the next point, has everybody listening to me? Have you seen yourself? And I'm only talking about you, your vertical decision. Have you seen yourself as I'm talking and imagine that you are a bullet coming out of the chamber, blasting off into the stratosphere, into the atmosphere? Have you seen yourself on that mission to Mars, going straight up? Before we go forward, I just need to know, anybody out there, if am I tripping? Right? Am I insane? because this is the way that I see the world, and I believe that those part of Coin Gang Ministries also can think like this, or am I tripping? Is this fool's gold? Am I tripping? You guys let me know that I'm not the only one and that I'm not talking to the wrong crowd. Because I need other people to be able to see themselves as well. Let me go to the chat real quick. Let me go to the chat real quick. What's up, D? What's good, bro? Can you see yourself on that mission to Mars? Can you see yourself blasting out that gun? Can you see yourself your next decision is worth 10 years? Compound interest? Can you see that? Can you see that? What's up, Nicole? Have you imagined yourself that the next decision you make is worth 10 years, 5 years, 3 years? Can you see yourself? Because I believe that the way that I see, other people can also see, because I'm not counting you guys out. I know you're fully capable of turning the corner. I know you're fully capable of removing the lies about what we've been told about ourselves and about our existence. Huh? What's up, Derek? What's going on? Can you see yourself the next decision in your notebook or wherever you write your things down? Or if you record yourself, how much is your decision worth? Is it a day-to-day, or is it worth 3 years? Is it worth 5 years? Is it worth 10 years? Because the people that we tap into every day and we share their stories, someone like a Jeff Bezos, his net worth is $200 billion. His decision making is worth 1,000 years because he's living the life of 50,000 people in one. But I believe people that are listening right now, I believe you guys are next too. I know I'm not tripping. What's up, Tamika? How much is that next decision of yours worth? Now, are you okay if there's people in this chat like I'm seeing and you guys are saying, yeah, right on. Are you okay with the results of that decision? Because the people that you look left and you look right, the people that are there now may not be there. Are you okay with that? All right. If you get what you actually want, are you okay with the person that's there right now? Are you okay with not being there? And that's something that we're going to talk about a little later, about the price of vertical decisions. But I appreciate you guys are great. Yo, give yourself a hand clap. You guys are great for even having the audacity to see yourself further. Because they say what we've been taught, which is a lie. They say, you know what, this kind of thinking has only been for other groups of people. And I don't want to just say, it's an ideal that's not available for so-called Black people or just people born into a low-income environment or a woman, right? Or they just tell women, you know what, that marriage is your ceiling, and that's it. And when you get married, that's it. Or when you have children, that's it. Nah, man, that's part of your vertical growth. Okay, this is amazing right here. 3 decisions worth 30 years? So let's just say in the next 10 years, this brother has made 3 years worth 30 years. Do you know where that's going to put this man? It doesn't matter what's going on in society. It doesn't matter a recession or depression, none of that. If this brother is able to do those 3 things in under 10 years, or just say it's a 10-year plan, those 3 decisions were 30 years. Come on, man. Just imagine it. Now, imagine it for someone else. Can you imagine it for someone else? Come on, man. Bro, I can imagine it for you, fam. Right? Because you got the audacity to see yourself as being more. So I can imagine it for you, since you're stepping out on a limb and doing what they told you is impossible, of thinking further, of thinking you are more than just a struggle, of thinking you're more than just welfare. So hats off to you, because that takes a lot of balls. All right. So I wanted to do that visualization because we can't move forward. Okay? We can't move forward. I'm going to give you guys an example of somebody that I respect, and they move vertically. They move vertically. You guys know who this is? Do you guys know who this woman is? This woman is very fascinating to me because her decisions in her life was vertical. So she has always been fascinating to me because her decisions that she's made in her life were vertical decisions. And what makes it more fascinating is the time she made those decisions. You guys know who this is? If you don't know who this is Miss Josephine Baker, and her life is very, 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 very interesting. She's from St. Louis, and she's seen the St. Louis riots, which was one of the worst race riots in America. But anyway, let me cut to the chase. She made a decision to get out of America. Now, there's some in-between things, but she made a decision to get out of America. She went to France. She went into forbidden land. Not forbidden land, but unknown land. Okay? And they loved her. You don't have Beyonce if you don't have her. You don't have Rihanna or Tina Turner or a video vixen or a liberated woman, right? She didn't say she was a feminist, but the ideology of a woman owning her sexuality, or, participating in the market, or not being held down by the concepts of marriage and childbirth, things like that. She was that before there was a word for it. At that time, though, which makes it more fascinating. So if you don't know Josephine Baker, you should study her because she is the epitome of vertical decisions. She deserves mad respect. She owned a chateau. Josephine Baker got an award for being a spy for the French government. At one particular time, Josephine Baker was one of the, not just women, one of the richest people in the world. She stepped out on faith and believed in herself to leave America and get it done. They didn't even accept her in her own country. Why? Because I get it. A lot of women in America didn't experience the freedoms that Josephine Baker had. Freedom with their body, freedom with their creativity. So of course, envy is going to follow. But again, this is the price. There's a price for vertical growth. But I had to put a picture on it of a person that made vertical decisions. Her decision making was worth 10 years, 20-year increments. Fellas, you guys can study this. Don't look down on it because it's a woman, right? You got to take into consideration the time period and respect it. Respect it. Because you can pull principles from that and ingrain it in your own life to scale. Okay? So do you guys have a firm understanding of vertical growth before I move forward? Right? Do you understand the difference between horizontal movement and vertical movement? Because before I move on, and if you don't understand, tell me so I can break it down more for you, because this is about you. This is about you walking out of here with the confidence and the tools necessary to win in any kind of environment, right? So do you understand vertical growth and horizontal movement? Do you understand the differences? And I just want to know so I can move on, all right? Because this is important that you guys understand, understand, all right? And if you don't, just let me know, and I'll slow down and I'll just hit the point again. So you are empowered, and you got the. If we don't have equal confidence, then I'm not doing my job. Okay. All right. So just a quick okay, just got here. So just real quick. Vertical growth goes this way, horizontal growth goes this way. Vertical growth is compound interest in your decision making. Okay? It's growth forward. So the visualization is, imagine yourself as a rocket ship going straight forward up in the air. Okay? Of course, there's resistance, but your work ethic and your determination cuts through the resistance. It's just like the engine that's cutting through gravity on these space explorations. Okay, horizontal movement is saying, you know what, I'm gonna do this one job for 20 years and expect to be where I want to be. The old people made was horizontal movement. They signed 30-year mortgages. Okay, you knew where to find them. That's an old mentality, right? You signed 30-year mortgages and you had a whole bunch of kids and you needed a dog, wanted a dog, and you worked a job for 40 years and you said, you know what, I'm gonna retire out. You didn't really taste what life has to offer. They didn't do much traveling. Okay, they didn't leave home. All right, they settled where they grew up at. Okay. All right. So vertical growth is compound interest on your decision making. It's worth 10 years, 5 years, one decision. This one decision is basically, look at it like this. Your one decision is compound interest. So it's like the decisions of 50 people. You understand? Okay. So what you do in 3 years, it takes the other people do in 12. All right. What you accomplish in 10, it takes another person to do in 25. All right. That's vertical growth. All right. So why is vertical growth important? Why is it important? Why is it important for us to make vertical decisions? It's important to make vertical decisions because your number one enemy is time, as you all know. Especially right now, it seems like time is accelerated. And I have a theory about that. I think the more you learn, the more you become aware, the more that time moves quickly. Because I remember when I was a child and school was over, the summer seemed long. But I also wasn't as aware as I am now. And the more knowledge that I acquire, it seems like I have less time. Okay? The more knowledge that I acquire, it seems like I have less time. Okay. So many of you out there are super learned. You've read all the books, you've heard all the lectures. What does it feel like of your time? Does it feel like out of every hour that you have, you only got 40 minutes of it? Right? This is why it's important for vertical growth, because your number one enemy is not the white man. It's not the system. It's not feminism. It's not a so-called homosexual agenda. All that is a distraction to occupy your mind off the real enemy, which is time. Time is going to take every single thing you love away from you. Every person you know, time is going to take them away from you. Your favorite shoes, your favorite card, basketball card, your furniture, things that you have put a lot of stock in and a lot of value in, time is going to happen to it. I remember I used to collect G.I. Joes, and the leg of the G.I. Joe, it would always become flimsy. Because constantly, I'm using the G.I. Joe, and time would happen to my favorite toys where the arm break off, or time would happen to my favorite Nintendo games. It just stopped working. Time would happen to cars that I've drove that I loved. Time also happened to family. Time happened to my mother. Time happened to my grandmother. And time is also going to happen to me. I've been around babies lately. And I'm just watching them and I'm looking at them and I'm like, wow, they're coming in as I'm going out. Even though I might got 40 more summers or 4 more days, who knows? But they're coming in as I'm going out and I'm like, yo, this is so trippy. That it just keeps going on. One generation ends, another generation begins. So this is why I can't commit to moving horizontally, because time is not a friend of mine. Make sure you guys like the video. It's okay to like the video. Put a heart on it. Put a smiley face on it, right? Put a right on it, right? Time. That's why it's important to move vertical. That's why the decision making has to be 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, because time is not our friend. And if we move vertically, it's a time hack, right? So we don't want to be moving with the rest of the 30-year-olds, the rest of the 40-year-olds, the rest of the 50-year-olds. We want to have results that are 10x that, right? So for 40, we want to be, when we're 40 and 50, we want to have the results of a 90-year-old person, right? Whatever age you are, whatever age you are, you want to have the decisions double your age. That's vertical. Okay. Okay. Good question. How does a vertical thinker think? Boom. A vertical thinker thinks like this. You look at the market, you look at the world, and you make a decision based on how you think the world is going to be. You make a projection. So you start doing things now based on a world that it's not even here yet. Look outside. What is the market telling you? What is the world telling you? And then you make decisions based on what you think it's going to look like based on a pattern that's going on right now. So let me tell you something that the world is showing you. The world is showing you that jobs that you do now will not be here later. Why? Because jobs that your father did are not here no more. They've been outsourced or they've been taken over by automation, right? So that pattern is going to continue. So you make a decision based on a pattern like that. You see that we're using more cards instead of cash. All right. We're not as cash heavy as we were before. Okay. So you make a decision based on, you know what? Society may be cashless at one time. Okay. You look at capitalism and the way it's changing. You have millennials and people younger studying more socialist ideals. So you make a decision based on that, right? So that's how a vertical thinker thinks. You start looking at patterns. You look at the way society is moving, right? And then you make a decision based on that. So just for me, like I got ebooks. I don't have physical copies, right? Now, even though there are people that still buy physical books, I'm making a bet on the internet. And it's a good bet because if the internet fails, then our whole way of life collapses. So I'm betting that everything is going to be digital. So everything I do is based on a digital economy. So I'm not interested in tangible things. I'm interested in delivering things right where you hang out at. Where is that? On your phone. So if you go to kenbillions.com, it's digital content. It's game on the go, right? And I understand that people don't have time to read 500-page books, 600-page books. So I create ebooks, 100 pages or less. All right. So if you pay $20 for an ebook, you get that game right now and you're able to upgrade. Right? I'm making a bet on the internet because I'm thinking vertically. All right. Just to give you an example of mind frame. All right. So I created a business model called Create, Upload, Sell, CUS. Right? Create, upload, sell. I create it, I think it, I write it, I say it, I upload it, and then I sell. Period. It's my business model. So I put myself ahead of the learning curve because by the time the rest of the public figures it out, I'm already gone already. Right? So if I'm still here at 40 years old, I'm 36. If I still here at 40 years old, I already made a bet on the internet. See, because I understand that the Pisces age is no longer here and we are in the information age and data is the number one commodity right now. So I create data. Dealings Over Feelings will be out in 2 weeks. Dealings Over Feelings Part 2, right? So that's an example of thinking vertically. You know what I'm saying? Not saying people have to follow my format, but I'm making a bet on the market. Okay. So time is our enemy. This is why it's important to move vertically. Right. And not just that, but also your judgment. You're gonna be judged not by people now. People that are not born yet are going to judge you. This like the way we judge baby boomers. Like the way we judge people that are not even here no more. We judge them for how the world looks right now. Right? We judge them for how the world looks now. I appreciate you. I'm a vertical thinker. That's coming. I appreciate you. Good looking. But we judge people that are not even here yet, not even here anymore. That same judgment is going to put on you. So the decisions that you make right now, the path that you carve out right now is going to be judged by people that are not even born yet. Now, their judgment about you is going to determine what your elder age or what is going to determine your social equity when you're 70 years old. What are they going to say about you? Are they going to say like, damn, such and such, man, they put it down 40 years ago. I would not be here if it wasn't for them. Or are they going to inherit a world of small ideals? Are they going to inherit a world of linear thinking? Are they going to inherit a world of what y'all call toxic and trauma? Right? Because the same way you curse dead people that are not here anymore, the same way the future is going to judge you. Because whether you know it or not, you are someone's ancestors. Right? Vertical growth is important because vertical growth puts the old you in the rear view. Horizontal movement puts the old you right on the side of you. Vertical growth puts the old you in the rear view, right? Another visualization. Imagine getting in your car. So I need everybody to do this because this doesn't work if you don't see something. Before you can be, you got to see. All right? You cannot be if you can't see. Even Stevie Wonder sees. Don't get it twisted. Right? Because he's looking through his mind. So he knows where those keys are because he can see them. Right? Imagine getting in your car. Right? And you're adjusting your rear view mirror. And in your rear view mirror, what you see is an old version of yourself. That's vertical movement. Horizontal movement, right? Horizontal movement is your old you is walking shoulder to shoulder with you. This is why you go back to some of your old ways sometimes if you're triggered a certain type of way, right? This is why you still focus on the past, or this is why you still have keeping relationships from the past that don't even benefit you. All right. Can you guys see that? The same way you did the visualization of vertical growth, like you are on a mission to Mars, or you're the bullet coming out of that gun aiming straight up. Can you also see yourself hopping in your car? I don't care what kind of car it is, right? I don't care the year, the model, or if you got beat in the car, if you got rims on the car. I don't care about that. But you should all have a rear view mirror. Can you visualize yourself coming into your car, adjusting your rear view mirror, and what you see in your rear view mirror is your old self? Anybody? Who can see that right now? That's what's up. Randy, I want you to go in your car. When you get in your car and you put your seatbelt on and you're adjusting everything, before you play your music, before you do anything, adjust your rear view mirror. And what I want you to see is your old self. Rika, can you do that? Can you hop in the whip and whatever the old you is, the things you may not like about yourself, because this is vertical growth, the things that don't work for you, old relationships. You see, this culture wants you to focus on trauma. See, that's horizontal. Healing, right? You heal when you move vertical because you put your old self in your rear view. Horizontal movements put your old self right on the side of you. So they tell you to focus on your trauma and focus on your healing. And when you focus on it, it puts that experience or that part of you right on the side of you, shoulder to shoulder. And now that's walking with you through life. So you a whole 30-year-old woman and the time you were molested and raped is walking with you side by side. See, that's horizontal movement. You can't get over that. You need an apology from people. And you can't move forward unless people apologize. You can't move forward unless you tell somebody your truth. I got a solution for that. The solution for that is vertical growth. Does it mean you don't hurt no more? Nah. Does it mean you don't cry anymore? No. It just means you cry on your way up. You hurt on your way up. You hurt getting a promotion. You hurt copping a new crib. You hurt on the plane getting your first passport stamp. See, they want you to focus on your trauma. I got a news flash for you guys. If you are born here on this planet, something is going to happen to you. Something is going to affect you in a certain type of way. You're going to experience extreme amounts of pain. That happens. That is the human story. If everybody took their experiences and they all threw it in the bucket, and you looked in there, and you might be like, you know what? Let me keep my life ain't that bad. But I got a solution for that. The solution is vertical growth. Because vertical growth puts your old self in the rear view. It's behind you. And as you start to pull off, that old you gets further and further and further and further to the point you got amnesia about your pain. Horizontal movement it's walking with you every step of the way. Now you decide what's good for you. You decide what's good for you. Is your past, the old you walking shoulder to shoulder with you, is that good for you? Is that going to get you the things that you desire and things you want? Only you know. Or if you put the old you in your rear view, if you put the old you in the rear view, how fast are you going to get where you're trying to go? Huh? Man, this is a great question right here. Can someone 60 be a vertical thinker? Vertical thinking is not restricted to age because you can change your mind anytime. What's a 60-year-old woman to a 90-year-old woman? Do you think the 90-year-old is looking back at the 60-year-old a little bit envious? Ma'am, you might got 40 more summers. It's possible with the way medicine is, with the way science is, changing of the diet, changing of attitude and belief system. You might live to be 110 years old. It's very, very possible. We are in the future. There is nothing that's impossible. So you damn right somebody can be a vertical thinker at 60 years old. In fact, I would argue that you have an advantage being older because you know what it takes to get something accomplished. Home ownership, marriage, raising children. You know what it takes to focus on one ideal. Graduating school. See, a young person doesn't know what it takes to get from A to Z. They don't have the patience. They don't have the thick skin to be able to handle a bad day or a bad week, a bad month, a bad year. They don't have the fortitude to shake off negative experiences. But if you're 60, ma'am, you have experience of losing loved ones. You have an experience of life not going your way. So focus on your vertical movement. Yeah. What is it that you want to do? You want to learn how to swim? I don't know your situation. You want to get married again? You want to make the most money that you've ever made in your life? You can. You can. What is it that you want? Okay. Now, the negative thing about that comes with old age is a thing they call neuroplasticity. Hope I said it right. Neuroplasticity, meaning that if you haven't expanded on your learning, if you haven't stretched the mind, right, you've only seen one thing for a long period of time. So it may be harder for you to make change, right? But it takes 21 days to form a new habit. So if you focus on your growth, Miss Beverly, if this is about you or someone you know, if you focus on your vertical growth for 21 days, you downloaded a new belief system the same way you download an app on the phone. See, belief systems are like software. Your body is the hardware. When you download new belief system, that belief system takes over your phone and installs and make upgrades and updates. So you just have to have the confidence and whatever God that you pray to, confidence in your new belief system. And you have to be willing to pay the price of your vertical movements, because everybody might say, Grandma, what are you doing? Or Mom, what are you doing? Or your husband might be like, I'm noticing a change in you, right? Now, keep in mind, there are people that are dependent on the way you've been behaving for the last 30 years. So when you make a vertical move, it's going to affect them. All right. So keep that in mind. Hope I answered your question. But that was a great question, Ms. Beverly. I don't know if it's about you or someone you know, but hell yeah, someone 60 can make a vertical move. Totally. Totally. Right. This is also good, right? And here and see, when you live in a horizontal culture, people mind each other's business. For example, Raven says, my body sure installed Jesus, and that's been the best thing that has ever happened to me. What's wrong with that? See, many people in the conscious community or new age philosophy, you'll say this woman is lost. You'll say this woman is asleep. But she downloaded a belief system that works for her. She downloaded a belief system that enables her to put her past, her old self, in the rear view. That's what many of you guys are missing. You don't have no belief. You don't have a belief system. Just because something don't work for you, don't mean it don't work for someone else. Now, people could debate about theology, but at the end of the day, what's the return on investment? It doesn't even matter, right? Right? So many of you are missing a testimony like that. What belief system have what belief system have you downloaded that allows you to wake up in the morning with a smile on your face, regardless of how the world looks? You see, right? So a lot of the being able to put yourself in that rearview mirror is based on belief. It's based on belief. Okay, totally. That's great. I'm with that. All right. So why is vertical growth important? Who, or not who, but what is the enemy, everybody? What is the enemy? What is your number one enemy? It's not the government. It's not Donald Trump. It's not Joe Biden. It's not Black Lives Matter. It's not communism or socialism, right? What is your number one enemy? What is your number one enemy, everybody? Because this is why vertical growth is important. Time. Time ain't your friend. Time doesn't care about if you're a great person. Time doesn't care if you have goals. Time doesn't care about your marriage. In fact, many of you that are in a relationship, it's not the perfect woman, right? It's not the perfect man, right? But you should value them because time is going to take them away from you, right? Time is going to take everything you've touched away. Time, right? But vertical growth is the offensive move to counter time. Right? Many times when people are their own worst enemy, guess what they have too much of? Time. Idle time. When we have idle time, it allows us to undermine our lifestyle. Boredom, being bored, anxiety sets in. See, when you are focused on vertical growth, it's weird because you don't have time. Right? So look how it goes. When you focused on vertical growth, you don't want to have time. And as you accomplish the things that you want, it gives you time. You see? See, you don't want to have time on the front end. You want to have time on the back end. Right? You don't want to have time on the front end. You want to have time on the back end. So when you are committed to vertical growth, you don't have time. You don't want time. Because when you have time now, you usually do dumb shit. You want time later. So you focus and you commit to vertical growth, and it takes your time up. You're too busy being a mom. You're too busy in your career. You're too busy self-improvement. You don't have time. Your minutes and hours are allocated to a specific spot. You don't want time right now. You want time later. Right now, your space, your days should be allocated to the thing that you pick. Do you want time now as a 30-year-old, or do you want time at 50? See, living in a horizontal culture, they teach you that there's a problem with aging. See, you got to keep in mind that you spend the majority of your existence old. Your youth is like that. In fact, here's another visualization. Okay? Here's another visualization. Imagine your future self thanking you for the things you're doing right now. Let me tell you what hell on earth is. Hell on earth is your future self cursing you right now. Looking back on your life, upset. What if you are an old person and you still have your mind? Your body has shut down. Imagine this for a second. Imagine you being an old person and your body has shut down, but your mind is fresh. And you're looking back on your life at opportunities that you didn't take advantage of. You're looking back on your life of the life that you left on the table because of fear or because of distraction or because of whatever. 80, years old with a fresh mind. You don't got dementia or Alzheimer's, and you're sitting on that rocking chair and you are cursing you now. See, because you wanted time now instead of time later. Now, if you have time now, I can almost guarantee the way it's going to be spent. If you have time now, what you're going to spend your time on now is stress, depression, distraction, anger, resentment, police brutality, the system. How do I know? Because look at what people do with their time now. Be honest. No judgment. The people that you personally know, we're not even going to talk about you because you're judging yourself as I'm talking. So you know. What are the people that you know? What are they doing with their time now? They have plenty of time. What do they do with it? Be honest. And you know what they do with their time because what they bring to you. Right? You know exactly what they do with their time because what they bring to you when you talk to them. I give you an example. When you talk to the average person and you say, "What's up?" What do they say back to you? Shit. What do they say? Be honest. Shit. What you up? Shit. I ain't on shit. Really? You know why that's interesting? Because if you go outside, you see the birds and the bees, they're doing, right? Nature is doing. The wind is doing. Everything is in its proper place, doing. But when you talk to people, what do they tell you? Right? Exactly. Exactly. Shit, chilling. They don't say, man, look, I'm focused on bettering myself. They don't say that. They usually tell you something bad happened. Oh, yeah, my mama just passed. Okay, yeah. But what you on, though? Shit. This one, right? Same shit, different day. How many times have we heard that? Now, for people to be able to say something like that means they have a lot of time. See, you use your vertical growth to get ahead of time. And the way to get ahead of time is by not having it right now. And then you look at what you harvested, and then you have a lot of time. Right? How much is a vertical decision worth? Can anyone in the chat describe a vertical decision? How much is it worth? How much is a vertical decision worth? What's the worth of a vertical decision? Right? How much is it worth? And your answers are going to tell you about time. How much is it worth? A vertical decision is what? Compound interest on decisions, right? But what are they worth? Horizontal movement is day to day. What's a vertical decision worth? Vertical decisions are worth years, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. One decision. Now imagine you make 5 vertical decisions in your life. What does that look like? 5, just 5. See, you don't gotta make 100 decisions a year. Just make one. One decision. See, your one decision is worth years. Now, of course, you do have the day-to-day things of getting the kids to school, of that. But your big picture is those vertical decisions, right? So remember, vertical decisions put time, or I'm sorry, your vertical decisions put you, your old you, in the rear view. Horizontal movements put your old self on the side of you, and it walks with you every single place you go. It walks with you in your relationships. Some women date the same man over and over again. How is that possible? Because that's vertical movement. How you keep meeting the same person over and over again? That means that you have not changed. Some guys get the same results. It's always somebody else. How is that possible? Because your old self and you now are still in a relationship with each other. You know you can divorce yourself, right? You know you can practice positive suicide, right? Everything in nature does it. You see snakes shed its skin. You see the metamorphosis that a caterpillar does, transitioning to a butterfly. Nature has positive suicide, right? The winter solstice is about a death. The sun going to its lowest point for 3 days and then rising. Nature shows you death. Look at the trees. Look how they change. You see a constant ebb and flow of life and death in nature. And we look at nature to study our own self. Okay? There is nothing wrong with positive suicide, because you're going to have positive suicide in order to put that old you in the rear view, because you're going to have to drive off. I remember in Martin tried to tell Hustle Man, watch my does. Watch my does. But he was missing one thing. He had no tires. Where you going? You need tires. So you have to kill yourself. Positively, though. It's a positive death. Because you want to say, watch my dust, and skate off. And you want that image of yourself in the rear view to get smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller, to the point that you don't remember. There is no positive return on investment remembering your trauma. You can tap in and out to use it as a tool for something. But remembering it, that's horizontal. Oh, I've been raped. Join the club. So have a lot of people. You're not special. It's not unique. And for you to have that memory fresh means that you haven't went vertically in your life. You're still on that layer. I don't care how successful you are in certain spaces. You still are on that. Okay. So vertical, the importance of why it's important to move vertically is because time is an enemy. But the price, though, the price we pay for vertical movement. Here's things called survivor's guilt, where you are moving at a vertical pace and you are ashamed, you are saddened, you feel bad, right? Because you're moving at a pace that other people in your circle are not. Why? Because humans have the need to be accepted. All right. So you weigh your acceptance on your purpose, and you choose acceptance over your purpose. Because what about the community? Because in life, everybody can go. And that is a heartbreak, because you've been taught that you're part of this collective. Single dad of 3 need help with food and milk. Single dad of 3 need help with food and milk. Single dad of 3 need help with some food and milk. Are you working? Single dad of 3 need help with some food and milk. Does anybody want to help this man? If this is the true story, does anybody want to help this man? How much do you need? How much do you need, sir? What's the number? What kind of help? And what's going on while you're, no judgment, but what's going on while you're in the thing that you're in? Where's the children's mother at? Is this a true story? Because I'm talking about vertical growth. Not saying that no one gets down. We do. We do. We do. But if we don't got $20, that's deeper than me just getting down. That's deeper than me just getting down. Okay? That's deeper. All right? So I don't know, right? All right, I'm reading that comment and I'm like, do I want to think about that? But because I'm talking about vertical growth and horizontal growth. Not saying that people don't go through hardships. Hell, I know. However, if you don't have $20 to feed your children in America, then you have to tell me about your horizontal mistakes or decision making before I put my hand in that. Okay? Because honestly, I would rather money go towards somebody that's moving forward. No disrespect. Right? Like I would rather put something towards somebody that has something going on, moving vertically. See, I'd rather support a struggling business owner. I'd rather support a struggling college student. I'd rather support a struggling person that has things going on and they're struggling because they have things going on. No judgment. But I'm just saying, because when I needed $20, it wasn't $20 that I needed. I needed a good kick in the ass because I was making some bad decisions. Right? So I'm just saying, I don't think your problem is food and milk. I think your problem is something else because I've been there. Right? And when I got welfare, it killed me. So the price we pay. What is the price? To be accepted, right? So as you're moving vertically, everybody can't go. Everybody can't go. So I asked some of you, are you okay with when you look left and you look right, it's people there that you love and you guys been each other's life for a long time. You know, these are your peoples. Are you okay with leaving them? And it's not spite. It's just you have your vision set on something bigger than what you're doing now. And everybody can't go. So are you okay with leaving them? Because there is a price that you have to pay for the things that you want. Are you willing to pay that price? And the price that you pay is acceptance. That's the price you pay. Acceptance. You're not going to be accepted. They're going to say things about you. Okay? They're going to talk bad about your decisions. They're going to say you're a sellout. They're going to call you an opportunist. They're going to call you everything but a child of God. Right? See, now when you accept it, you don't go back and defend your decisions. Oh man, you understand what it comes with, but are you okay with the price that you pay? Because vertical growth removes you from the group and it gives you something that is very, very, very scary. It gives you a new identity. Scary. Because the identity we have now is wrapped in stuff. I'm a Republican, I'm a Democrat, I'm Black, I'm a woman, I'm feminist, I'm this, I'm that. When you move vertically, you don't just move vertically away from people. You move vertically against ideologies that you used to have. Now you need a new identity. Now you have to come up with another identity, an individual identity, because your last identity was a group identity. That's why a lot of people are not successful. It's not because they don't have the skills. It's not because they are not smart enough or capable enough, but it's fear. It's fear of becoming more. It's fear of that new identity. Because if I move myself away from a group identity, what identity do I have? They haven't taught you anything outside of the collective. Okay? Especially when you look like this. You have to identify with everybody that looks like this. But as you move vertically, you now have a new identity. That's scary. Are you okay with that? Are you okay with that? This is probably the most expensive thing that you're ever going to pay for. You're going to have the most people in your life when you're underachieving. You're going to have the most advocacy in your life when you're doing the worst. When you begin to make something out of yourself and do better for yourself, you're going to lose the people that have been there. Are you good with that? Are you okay with paying that price? And if you're okay with paying that price, then now you have to find your strength in freedom. Freedom is scary because it's uncharted territory. Think about a slave for a second. So If you was on a plantation, there's no gates. You can run off. But if you run, what's out there? You know, many slaves never seen water, never seen a beach. That's all they knew was that. How's that possible? There's no gates right there. I can run off. How come you don't? Then that means there's a chip inside of your mind that tells you that it's better right here, because out there, you're going to have to do something that is very scary. You're going to have to provide for yourself. You're going to have to make decisions for yourself. There's a comfortability that comes with slavery. You don't have to think for yourself. You get to turn your mind off. Someone thinks for you. Do you know the majority of the world, someone is thinking for them? See, when the luxury of someone thinking for you is you get to focus on games and play. Freedom. Can you find strength in that? Because after you pay the price of your vertical growth, you're going to have to be comfortable with your new season. You're going to have to be comfortable with your freedom. You're going to have to be comfortable, right? See, you don't need training to be a slave. You need training to be free. You need training to think for yourself. You need training to be successful. There's protocol. People talk all the time about generational wealth, but they don't talk about the protocol. They don't talk about the behavior that goes with that. So what people are saying is you want money to pass down to your children, then to their children, and to their children, and to their children. Cool. What's the behavior for that? You have to be trained to be free. You don't have to be trained to be in poverty. You could just, it's easy. There's no protocol. To be a free man and woman, money has rules. Self-government has rules. Responsibility has rules. And it's a weight on your shoulders. Very, very stressful too. It's a better experience to be a slave because you don't got to think. It is very scary to think for yourself, do for yourself, plan for yourself. And the mistakes are big. See, when someone thinks for you, when you make a mistake, whoever's thinking for you will clean up your mistake too. And you can make another mistake and they'll clean it up, and make another mistake and they'll clean it up, because you are a slave. See, when you are free, you have to clean up your own mess and make your own bed and prepare your own food and your own retirement. You have to self-define. Freedom of excuses. But if you want to be free, you're going to have to bench press the heaviest weight that you're ever going to have to lift in your life. And that is the weight of expectation. And I'm telling you, the weight of expectation cracked the strongest men and women. If you win once, you're expected to do it all the time. Do you want that? Do you want that? There's no expectation if you lose. If you win once, you are expected to continue the process. Do you want that headache? because that's what comes with what I'm talking about. This ain't for everybody. I don't blame people that stay on the plantation. It's better there, honestly. It's better. You can live a better life. Mediocrity is better. It's better. It's safer. You don't have to clean up your own mess. You don't have to think for yourself. You don't have to plan vertically. You can live horizontally and still live a cool life. But for those cursed with vertical mindset, okay, the biggest weight that you're ever going to lift in your life is the weight of expectation. Standard. Not saying you're going to win the championship every single year, but you're competing for one. Tom Brady, LeBron James, Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan, Wade Gretzky, Serena Williams, Jeff Bezos, Oprah, Tyler Perry. You want that? Because that's what comes with a vertical mindset. And then you have to prepare for the life after vertical decisions. What does your life look like now? Many times when we make mistakes is because we didn't plan on being here. All right? What now? What now? Because remember I said, you don't want time now. You want time later. Okay, let's propel ourselves 20 years from now. What does your life look like? You need to prepare that now. You want to keep one of these with you. This is your script. You are Steven Spielberg. You are Ava DuVernay. Right here. It's something powerful about when the pen is in the hand, the relationship of hand and mind. When it hits the paper, things come alive. There's a spiritual component to it that I don't even understand. I'm actually fascinated how a person can put something on paper and then it comes alive. A script, architecture, blueprints, plans. What man puts on paper becomes. You're looking at Avatar, Titanic, blockbuster films. They started right here, though. They started in things like these. And it's so ill that the decisions that come out of here make people billions. But this is nothing but $5. That's fascinating. How the things we write in here take a life of its own. But this and this is $5. Talk about some alchemy. What does your life look like? I got homework for everybody. Don't come back here ever again unless you get this. I don't want to talk to anybody that has this. I don't care about views. I'll be all right. I don't care about views. I'll be all right. I only want to talk to the people that have this. That's your homework here. Don't come back and say, what's up, Ken? Don't like none of my shit. Don't act like we friends. I'm not your friend if you don't have this. You are a liability to my ministry. You are a liability in my ministry. Because after I'm dead and gone, if y'all don't become what you're supposed to become, that's on me. So if you don't have one of these, this is $5. And I don't want to talk to nobody that can't invest $5 into themselves. I don't want you. There's other places for you. I'm good. Right? That's your homework. You ain't got to spend the $5 on me. Spend the $5 on yourself. Don't come back here unless you got one of these. And in it, I want your life to go into it. Your life. What does it look like driving off your old self, away from your old self, putting your old self in that rear view, and as you accelerate on the pedal, the old you gets smaller and smaller and smaller. What does that look like? See, I want to have that conversation. I want to have conversations about breakthroughs. I want to have conversations about people that don't have no time. Why? Because it's spent on vertical. Do you know people send me videos about the system and what they consider oppression? I don't even watch the shit. I'm like, why are you sending me this shit? Why do you think I want to watch that? I don't care about that. I got my own thing cracking. I don't care about nothing going on. I really don't. Miss me with that because I'm too busy writing in here. The world is going to do what it's going to do. But I remember the church folks say, be in the world, but not of the world. And now people are so much of the world that their entire conversation consists of worldly matters. What are worldly matters? Social justice. Blah, blah, blah. This is the world that I'm focused on. So don't come back to me. Don't pull up on me. I'll talk to two people. I don't care. I'm going to be all right behind the scenes. Ain't no scarcity in the world. I don't care if you unfollow. I only want to talk to people that really take this coin gang thing serious. Right? They take themselves serious. They take their family serious. Fatherhood, motherhood, being a partner, being ill, being the best. I only want to talk to them people. That way, if something ever happens to me and I fall, I'm going to land on a good cushion. Right? Because you're only as good as the people that are fucking with you, right? So don't come back here ever again. Seriously. If you ain't got $5 for a notebook to write in, ideals, goals, your life, don't worry about if it's messy or not, right? Personal journal, business journal, relationship journal, personal development journal, whatever. If you don't got $5 for this, I'm straight. I'm cool, right? This ain't the place. You ain't the crowd for me, right? All right, cool. So what does your life look like? All right, take action. Remember that time is your enemy. Remember that. All right. So what do you guys think? Vertical growth, horizontal growth. All right, man. Shout out to anybody that ever hit my Cash App. I know that money is funny for a lot of people. So if you ever gave me $1, I salute to you, right? If you don't have $1 to give, follow me on IG, Ken_billions83. My new ebook, Dealings Over Feelings Part 2, just got done being edited. It'll be out in the next few weeks. It's dope. It's great. This will definitely wire your mind. Game on the go. All right. Take your time serious. If you want to go further in the ministry and have me on a one-on-one, contact me 888-565-8734. That is my paid hotline. Okay. I don't like my time being wasted. So there is a paywall. You should put one in your life too if you consider yourself valuable. There needs to be a paywall there. All right. 888-565-8734. All right. Until next time, Peace.